How are you doing, family? This is Chris Robinson with Media TV, and I'm going to be covering the U.S. Olympic scandal that the man has been touching on various Olympic gymnast girls, and I'm going to be play this video and let y'all see what's going on.
The US Olympic Committee and the country's gymnastics governing body are being accused of helping cover up years of sex abuse and child molestation. In a lawsuit filed by champion gymnast Michaela Maroney, she alleges to have been abused by a US team doctor for years and then paid to keep silent. She also names other sports institutions for preventing her from publicly coming forward. With more details, here's Samira Khan.
Michaela Maroney, America's Olympic darling, one of the world's most famous gymnasts, U.S. household name, and victim of childhood sex abuse that apparently took place over years. And when she wanted to speak out, both USA Gymnastics plus the U.S. Olympic Committee made her keep quiet. Maroney claims she was paid hush money and is now suing them for silencing her.
She hired a lawyer and asked for a settlement conference or a mediation to get justice. What she didn't ask for was a draconian confidentiality agreement that prevented her from telling even her brother and sister about this. And then, I think even worse, it said that you can't ever say anything bad about USA Gymnastics ever for your whole life.
She's come forward with a horrific story of abuse by Team USA's former doctor, Larry Nasser.
It started when I was 13 years old, and it didn't end until I left sport. It seemed whenever and wherever this man could find the chance, I was treated. The scariest night of my life happened when I was 15 years old. I had flown all day and night with the team to get to Tokyo. He'd given me a sleeping pill for the flight, and the next thing I know, I was all alone with him in his hotel room getting a treatment. I thought I was going to die that night.
But one would naturally have expected USA Gymnastics to support its crown jewel, but the organization claims that she herself chose to settle this all quietly.
In 2016, Michaela's attorney at the time, Gloria Allred, approached USA Gymnastics, requesting that the organization participate in a confidential mediation. The process culminated in a settlement agreement that included a mutual non-disclosure clause and a mutual non-disparagement clause.
Yet Maroney's case is just the start. Over 150 women have now accused the same doctor of sexual abuse.
I don't want to be in a courtroom telling about how a man, penetrated me in front of my mother when I was 11.
The fact that he just thinks, I pleaded guilty and now you guys can start healing is ridiculous to me. I don't think he truly understands how many people are hurting and how bad people are hurting over this.
Now, Dr. Nasser admits to exploiting his position to abuse his patients, and he was recently convicted and sentenced to 60 years in jail. But his victims believe justice has still not been served. And it's not just Nasser who they insist must be punished, but the sports officials who failed to protect child athletes.
The Olympics is something that brings people hope and joy. Sure, from the outside looking in, it's an amazing story. I did it. I got there, but not without a price.
Well, we discussed Maroney's claims there with the former gymnast Rachel Den Hollander. She was actually the first to publicly accuse former US team doctor Larry Nasser of sexual assault and isn't surprised either about the claims of a big cover-up.
I think there's plenty of evidence that there was a cover-up, not just because of the way USAG has handled Larry Nasser's case, but again, because this is their long-standing policy. They have been covering up sexual abuse in the organization literally for decades. Some of the most prominent coaches in USAG who have trained Olympians, who have worked alongside Bella and Marta Caroli, those coaches have been found guilty of sexual abuse too. So when you have an organization that has a decades-long policy of silencing victims by literally shoving reports in a file cabinet, and then they can defend those actions by saying they want to avoid a witch hunt, it shouldn't come as any surprise to us that they're treating their elite athletes the same way they're treating the youngest gymnasts in their member gyms. So I think we already know that USAG has a long-standing policy of covering up sexual predators. Michaela said that she had signed her agreement in 2016, but just a few months ago in August, the OC Register, which is a local California newspaper, did publish that they had been able to confirm that another case had been settled in 2016 2015 with another victim of Larry Nasser, an elite gymnast. So yes, I think it's likely that there are others that have been silenced. I think there needs to be an investigation into whether illegal activities occurred. There are very legitimate questions about whether or not this non-disclosure agreement was even legal under California law, because it did involve felony sex offense crimes. And I think there needs to be a complete board change from the top down, because these board members have made it very clear that the safety of little children is not their priority, that they see nothing wrong with how they have handled not just the Larry Nasser situation, but with how they've handled sexual predators in the organization for decades. You know, when you have an organization like USAG that is in charge of our Olympians, that is in charge of the entire sport from the top down, and they can't handle something like sexual abuse against little children, yes, I think it is time for the USOC to look at simply removing their authority to run our gymnastics program in the United States, because they have proven that they care about something more than the safety of their athletes, and that's inexcusable.
Yeah, family, so Mr. Larry Nasser, that nasty bastard, that nasty rapist, that child molester, that eagle devil, that white crusty devil. Okay, the first girl said that it started at 13 years old. How nasty could you be? That's just plain nasty, man. You're not attracted to grown women? Talk to grown women. Don't be going for little girls. Come on, man. That's nasty. Then she said, when she was 15, she said they flew all day. They was on a plane, and they went to Tokyo. And she said she was giving a sleeping pill, and when she woke up, she was in his hotel room, and he was giving her that work. He was giving it to her. That nasty bastard. And see, and then they want to come out and talking about, other women want to try to support all these other child molesters and rapists and stuff like that. But see, what white people do, they be on code, depending on certain child rapists that's in the office and stuff like that. White women, older white women be on code, but this nasty bastard should get the goddamn death penalty. He should get it. They should fucking electrocute his ass, set his ass on fire, and he should get the goddamn death penalty for doing all them heinous ass crimes. Alright, family. Peace.